You're lying on the ground. It's 2 a.m. The savannah is dark. Somewhere nearby, a lion. You can't run. You can't fight. You're completely still. And the lion walks away. Why? You were the easiest meal it would ever find. Defenseless, slow, warm. Right there. Scientists studied this for decades. And what they found doesn't just explain predator behavior. It reveals something deeply strange about what humans actually are in the animal kingdom. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never think about your place in nature the same way again. Here's what most people assume. Predators don't attack sleeping humans because they're afraid of us, because we have weapons, because we built cities. Wrong. The real reason goes back millions of years, to a time before weapons, before fire, before language. And it has nothing to do with how dangerous we are. It has everything to do with how weird we are. Every predator on Earth operates on a simple calculation. Is this meal worth the risk? A lion doesn't think. It calculates. Energy spent versus energy gained. Risk of injury versus reward. And here's the problem with humans. We don't smell right. Every natural prey animal, deer, zebra, wildebeest, has a scent profile that predators recognize over millions of years of evolution. Their brains are literally wired to connect that smell with food. Humans smell like nothing in the database. We don't smell like prey. We smell like something unknown. And in the predator's brain, unknown doesn't mean easy meal. Unknown means danger. Think about it from the lion's perspective. You've never successfully hunted this creature before. You don't know how it moves when cornered. You don't know what sounds it makes. You don't know if it has a pack nearby. The sleeping human isn't an opportunity. It's a trap that hasn't been triggered yet. But scent is just the beginning. Because researchers discovered something even stranger when they attached cameras to predators in areas where humans sleep outdoors. The predators didn't just avoid sleeping humans, they detoured around them, sometimes by hundreds of meters. Why? 2 words: breathing patterns. A sleeping human breathes differently than any other animal on the planet. Slow, deep, irregular, with occasional movement, mumbling, position changes. To a predator's nervous system, this pattern doesn't compute. Prey animals sleep lightly. They twitch. They stay alert. A completely relaxed, deeply breathing large mammal sends a signal that predator brains aren't wired to process as vulnerable. It reads as, this animal is not afraid. And if it's not afraid, why isn't it afraid? There's also the heat signature. Humans have an unusually high and stable body temperature. Thermal studies show that sleeping humans glow differently than other mammals at night. And predators that hunt by heat, like certain big cats, register this as an anomaly. Not prey, not predator, something else entirely. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. And I need you to pay attention to this next part, because this is the piece most wildlife documentaries never mention. Humans are the only species on Earth that has successfully made apex predators learn, across generations, to avoid us even when we appear defenseless, not because we fought them off every time, because of what happened to the predators that tried. Let me tell you about a study done in Mozambique after a decades-long civil war. During the war, no humans in the bush. Lions had free range. They hunted everything. When humans returned, the lions initially showed no fear. They attacked villages. They were called man-eaters. Within 3 generations of lions, roughly 15 years, the behavior completely changed. Lions in that region began actively avoiding human settlements even at night, even when food was scarce. They didn't learn this from humans. They learned it from each other. Because the lions that approached sleeping humans didn't come back, not because they were killed every time, but because the encounters were unpredictable enough. Humans waking suddenly, making strange sounds, moving erratically, that the statistical outcome over time taught the pride. This is not worth it. Evolution works slowly, but learned behavior inside a social group spreads fast. And this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the one that will completely change how you see yourself as a species. For 2 million years, humans were not the apex predators. We were prey. Saber-toothed cats, cave hyenas, giant eagles, they all hunted us. regularly, successfully. The skulls prove it. Puncture marks, talon patterns, drag marks. We were on the menu. But something happened around 300,000 years ago. Humans started sleeping differently, in groups, around fire, with rotating watch schedules, in elevated positions. We didn't just survive predator attacks. We made attacking us statistically catastrophic for the predator, and predators, being the perfectly optimized machines they are, updated their instincts accordingly. The reason a lion walks past a sleeping human today isn't because it's merciful. It isn't because it can't smell you. It's because somewhere in the deep memory of its species, humans are the creature that fights back in ways that don't make sense. That screams and throws things and comes back with others. That doesn't behave like prey. You are not on the menu. Not because you're powerful, because your ancestors made it too expensive to put you there. You didn't inherit a body built for speed or strength or claws. You inherited 2 million years of reputation. Now, let's go deeper. Because understanding why predators avoid us requires understanding something most people have completely backwards about human evolution. We think of ourselves as hunters, as the dominant species that climbed to the top through intelligence and tools. But for the vast majority of human existence, we were the hunted. Imagine walking through the African savanna 2 million years ago. You are small, you are slow, you have no claws, no venom, no armor. You can't outrun a cheetah. You can't outfight a leopard. You can't outsmell a hyena. You are, by every biological measure, one of the most vulnerable large mammals on the planet. And yet, here you are, reading this, which means something went incredibly right. Here's what actually happened. Early humans developed something no other prey animal had ever developed before. Not a physical adaptation, not a chemical defense. Something far more powerful, collective memory. When a zebra is attacked by a lion, it runs, it survives, or it doesn't. But it doesn't go back to the herd and explain what happened. It doesn't describe the lion's hunting pattern. It doesn't warn others about that specific watering hole at that specific time of day. Humans did. From the very earliest stages of language, even before true language existed, humans communicated danger through sounds, through gestures, through demonstration, and later, through stories told around fires that burned through the night. That fire, by the way, changed everything. Fire did something no other animal behavior had ever done before. It pushed the darkness back. Think about what darkness means to a predator. Darkness is advantage. Darkness is cover. Darkness is when the thermal signatures blur and the sounds of sleeping prey become the only guide. Fire eliminated that advantage entirely. A sleeping group of early humans around a fire wasn't just warm and visible. It was radiating heat signatures in all directions, creating noise, producing smoke that confused scent tracking, and, most critically, suggesting wakefulness even when everyone was asleep. Because fire doesn't sleep, and a predator watching from the tree line couldn't know if the creatures around that fire were asleep or awake, couldn't know if one of them was watching, couldn't calculate the true risk, so it waited, and eventually it moved on. But fire was only part of the equation. Early humans also did something that seems almost impossibly sophisticated for creatures without language. They organized their sleep. Archaeological evidence from sites across Africa and Europe suggests that early human groups maintained watch rotations during the night. Not everyone slept at the same time. There was always someone awake, always someone listening. This is not instinct. This is planning. This is the earliest form of what we now call strategy. And predators, over thousands of years of failed hunts, learned to read the signs. A group of humans around a fire with rotating movement and unpredictable waking patterns was not worth the energy, not worth the risk of injury, not worth the cost. So they stopped trying. But here is the part that truly amazes me, and I want you to really sit with this for a moment. The predators that avoided human camps didn't avoid them because they were scared in the way we understand fear. They avoided them because their nervous systems, shaped by millions of years of evolution, had been reprogrammed by experience. Every predator that attacked a human group and failed passed that failure into the behavioral memory of its species. Every predator that succeeded passed something too, but the unpredictability of the outcome meant that success was never reliable enough to build a hunting strategy around. Humans were the only prey that sometimes lost and sometimes won, that sometimes ran and sometimes fought back, that sometimes made noise and sometimes went completely silent. In predator psychology, unpredictable prey is the most dangerous prey because you can't build a pattern. You can't optimize your approach. You can't know what this creature will do in the next 3 seconds. And so, across thousands of generations, the predators that survived were the ones that avoided the unpredictable creatures sleeping around the fire. We didn't win by being stronger. We won by being impossible to predict. Now, I want to bring this back to the present, because this ancient dynamic is still playing out today, and the evidence is everywhere if you know where to look. Researchers studying lion behavior in areas with high human population density have found something remarkable. Lions in these areas don't just avoid humans. They restructure their entire daily schedule around human activity. They hunt earlier in the evening. They rest farther from settlements. They change their movement corridors to avoid areas where humans are active, even areas where humans were active weeks or months ago. They are not reacting to individual humans. They are responding to the accumulated behavioral memory of their pride, passed down through social learning across generations. This is predator evolution in real time, and humans are driving it without even knowing it. The same pattern appears in leopards, hyenas, wild dogs, and even crocodiles in areas of high human activity. Every apex predator on Earth has, to some degree, updated its behavioral programming to account for the strange, unpredictable, fire-using, noise-making, group-sleeping creature that doesn't behave like prey. You are, in the most literal biological sense, an animal that rewrote the instincts of every predator on Earth, not with weapons, not with intelligence alone, with consistency, with fire, with the simple act of refusing, generation after generation, to be easy prey. So next time you're camping, next time you're outside at night, and you hear something moving in the dark, remember, the predator already knows you're there, and it already made its decision. Now here's what I want you to think about before you leave. If humans spent 2 million years as prey, what else did we survive that shaped who we are today? That's exactly what we're covering next week. If you want to know, you know what to do.